We're going to make another video on factoring by grouping, and as stated previously, this works best when you have 4 terms. But don't forget that you always have to check for a GCF before you start a problem. So when you look at 63n cubed plus 54n squared minus 105n minus 90, you notice that the 63, the 54, the 105, and the 90 has a greatest common factor. And the GCF is going to be a 3. There is no n in the GCF because this last term is a constant and it doesn't have a common variable. But we can pull out a 3. And in order to find out what's left over, one way is you can literally divide each of the terms by your GCF. 63 divided by 3 is going to be 21n cubed. 54 divided by 3 is going to be 18n squared. 105 divided by 3 is going to be 35n, and 90 divided by 3 is going to be 30. Now that you've pulled out the GCF, you need to ask yourself, can I further factor this polynomial? We've already done GCF. Differences of squares is not going to work in this case because we have more than 2 terms. But we can try grouping because of the 4 terms. So remember, we're working with the parentheses, but we're not forgetting about that 3 outside. So we're working with this and with this. Don't forget, this 3 will eventually come down. Okay? So we have 21n cubed plus 18n squared plus negative 35n minus 30. Right, we're taking both terms and we're bringing them down. Next, we need to do GCF. Between the 21 and the 18, we have 6 times 3, 7 times 3. I think the GCF here is going to be 3 between the n cubed and the n squared. So we pull out a 3n squared. We need to figure out those 2 terms. It's my red marker. That means each of these needs to be divided by 3n squared. 21 divided by 3 is 7. N cubed over n squared is just n, plus sign. 18 divided by 3 is 6. And the n squares cancel. Now we need to factor this one. So you gotta look for the GCF. And between negative 35 and negative 30, I think it's going to be negative 5. And so you write negative 5 on the outside. And that means each of your terms needs to be divided by negative 5. And negative 35 over negative 5 is a positive 7. Negative 30 over negative 5 is a positive 6. Once you have taken out the GCF from both sections, don't forget you got a 3 out here. It's going to keep on coming down. You notice that they have a common factor. So you pull that factor out. You write your 3 because you bring down your 3. You pull the common factor. And the last factor is what's in front of your common factor. This is going to be 3n squared minus 5. And this would be the answer. If you forget the 3, your answer will be wrong. Okay? Because when you multiply these two, you're going to get this. But then you got to multiply by the 3 to get back up to the original problem.